Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. Today, right now, where I am, it is early morning on Tuesday, the 17th of August, and I understand that a few hours ago, the Criterion Collection on its website has announced its planned releases for November 2021, so a few months from now. If you want more information, including cover art designs, technical specifications, supplemental information, and write-ups about the films themselves, please check out the Criterion Collection website directly. You can find a link below to their really fantastic website. But if it's okay with you, right now, I would like to share with you some initial reactions to this set of planned releases for, again, November 2021. A lot of this will be a continuation of a discussion with regard to Criterion's announcement from last week about their plans to release UHD 4K titles, or plans to release films under such format. So that's going to be a continuation, or that conversation will be continued today, because we have a number of those titles that were referred to last week now among the mix of these November 2021 release titles. So if you are interested in that conversation as well, I will leave a link to that YouTube video that I uploaded last week. I will leave a link to that below as well. So again, just in case you're interested. However, without further ado, let us now go to what the website indicates as to the titles that are planned by Criterion to be released this coming November. So first up, on November 2nd, we have La Strada, and then on November 16th, Mulholland Drive. And then on November 16th also, Once Upon a Time in China, the complete films. And then on November 23rd, MENACE II Society. And also on November 23rd, Citizen Kane. So here we have 5 titles, or 5 releases that are planned for this coming month of November 2021. First, we have that title scheduled for release November 2nd, 2021. And this is from 1954, spine number 219, and it's going to be on a Blu-ray release. This is the work from Federico Fellini, and it is called La Strada. So this is very welcome news indeed, for a number of reasons. So first off, we have the return, if you will, of La Strada. As you can see from the website, it indicates an earlier spine number 219. That is to, of course, remind everyone that this had once been an earlier DVD release in the Criterion Collection. But then we had sometime later, in fact last year, the tail end of last year, we had the release of that great set, that event release, which was the Essential Fellini box set. And among the films that were included in such Essential Fellini box set was the film La Strada under the 4K digital restoration. And so now what we're getting here, looks like, is we're getting that individual, or we're getting that release version of La Strada as we saw it in such box set. We're getting it in its own separate individual release, and also in conjunction with, or under the spine number that it had originally had when it had been first released some years ago. So under the Criterion Collection label. And so here we have, therefore, a type of individual breakout from such box set. Very welcome news indeed. The Criterion Collection oftentimes does this, not with all of the films that are included in any, say, box set or collector set, mind you. However, every once in a while, or maybe every now and then, with regards to a box set, Criterion will also later down the line, maybe somewhat close in proximity, maybe not, but sometime later, Criterion will also have an individual release of one or more of such films included in the box set. Again, maybe not all of them, but a number of them, or a selection of them. So we saw this, for instance, in there's the box set, the Ingmar Bergman cinema box set from a few years ago. And then after the box set was released, there were a number of titles that were then released individually. So like The Magic Flute or Shame, etc. And so this is a type of trend that is often the case. Again, not for every box set necessarily, and sometimes the ordering might be different. In other words, sometimes we might get individual releases, and then later, subsequently, we might get a say complete set or box set that included such prior subsequent release. For instance, if I recall correctly, with regard to the Agnes Varda set, there was the film One Sings, the Other Doesn't, that had an individual release prior to the release of that really fantastic box set regarding the cinema of Agnes Varda. So in any event, there are a number of patterns that I think are possible. Here we have a pattern that is also something that we have seen. For instance, we had a film that had been released prior by the Criterion Collection under an earlier, older DVD release, and then some years had passed, and then now we had, or last year we had the box set, and then now after such box set we had, or now we have this new planned Blu-ray release. So this is, again, very welcome news, especially for a film like La Strada, which is an incredibly important work in the context of Fellini's career. It is itself an immensely powerful and emotional drama, and it's so absorbing. And so it's going to be a really great thing to see this on its own individual release once again. Let me say once again in the Criterion Collection. So it has, I should say too, you can please check out the Ebeling Hedgewald cover art design, which you can see on the website. Here is a little example of it. It looks very interesting in terms of the color design, especially Gelsomina, and there's a little detail regarding her face, which is also very much a very interesting little thing, a little detail. So well done. And I should point out too that there appears to be the format of this being Blu-ray. There doesn't appear to be any other format availability for this planned release title. So it's Blu-ray, one disc. There is no indication at the time of this video anyway of DVD option or a UHD 4K option. So it's Blu-ray only for planned to be released this coming November 2nd. And that is the Fellini film, which is La Strada. Next, scheduled for release on November 16th, 2021, and this is the work which is under spine number 779, and so it has already been released in the Criterion Collection, but here we have this film from 2001 from David Lynch, now also getting this 4K UHD plus Blu-ray combo treatment, which is one of the titles, of course, that was referred to as one of the 6 in the Criterion Collection announcement that we had from last week. And I'm speaking, of course, about his work, Mulholland Drive. So, as I just referred to right now, Criterion did make the announcement last week about its planned release of 6 titles under this 4K format, specifically under the format which would be UHD 4K plus Blu-ray. And so we have the 2 formats in this combo pack, and a number of people, I think, very astutely made the remark about how this is very similar to say, the Blu-ray DVD combinations that Criterion had endeavored a few years back as well. But we have now the 2-disc release, 4K and then Blu-ray. And then this is also to coincide with the Blu-ray disc release and also the DVD disc release, which are now current. So we have now 3 options under which one can purchase Mulholland Drive through the Criterion Collection under its physical media format. And this newest option is, as I say, this 4K UHD Blu-ray combo availability. And I should say too that according to the website, the DVD release, $23.96. The single disc Blu-ray release is $31.96. 4K UHD plus Blu-ray combo, $39.96. So this is a very interesting point here. And we shall see also the price point issue with regard to the other titles among the November 2021 release slate. But here we have the difference of $8 US, and in the 4K UHD release version, we are also getting the Blu-ray as well. So the 4K UHD plus Blu-ray combo release version, it says here under the website, it says, in the 4K UHD edition, new 4K digital restoration supervised by director David Lynch and director photographer Peter Deming with 5.1 surround sound DTS HD master audio soundtrack, 4K UHD disc only. And then it says further, in the 4K UHD edition, one 4K UHD disc of the film presented in Dolby Vision HDR, and one Blu-ray with the film and special features. And then it says on the Blu-ray and DVD, it says restored 4K digital transfer, supervised by director David Lynch and director of photography Peter Deming with 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack on the Blu-ray. So this is very interesting here. So we have, of course, the 2 different format versions, and then the 4K UHD edition making reference to Dolby Vision HDR, and then we have reference to the fact that, or reference to the point that we will very likely be getting the same supplements that we have already seen in the current releases under Criterion Collection, excuse me. Plus we have what looks to be the same cover art design. Now I'm not sure if there will be, I mean, I can assume there might be some slight differences in terms of the UHD, the 4K plus Blu-ray combo release version, but we shall see in terms of the size and the look itself. But it looks to me like the cover art will be, or will be relying on the same cover art that we have seen in the current release version. So in any event, this is very intriguing and exciting indeed. And this will be, in terms of the release schedule, this will be the first title released by Criterion under this new format. So already currently existing, and already we have the other DVD and Blu-ray options available. So at least it looks like for anyone who is not seeking to get this format upgrade, there are still the possibilities in terms of the current format purchase options. So that is good news as well. This is for the work Mulholland Drive. And I should point out too that I have spoken maybe somewhat briefly a few years back about this work Mulholland Drive by David Lynch. I saw this in the theater when it was released in 2001, and I saw it a number of times, in fact, and it was phenomenal. It was perplexing. It was mesmerizing, mysterious, scary. Oh, so scary this film was when watching it in the theater, especially for the first time. All the thrills and the surprises and the what is lurking under the surface, in the darkness, in the shadows, behind the corners, as well as things that are in open broad daylight. Things can, when you look at it from askance, from a different angle, from a different perspective, they can become totally different things indeed. And so this is the type of world, of course, that we are in when we watch a film from David Lynch. And so it'll be really exciting to talk about this again when it comes time to explore this new format release. So David Lynch's work, Mulholland Drive, again, this will be, according to the schedule, the first title to be released by Criterion under this new format. Next, scheduled for release on November 16th, 2021, and this is for spy number 1103. This is called Once Upon a Time in China, The Complete Films. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. According to the Criterion Collection website, this will be on Blu-ray set 6 discs, and we have Once Upon a Time in China, Once Upon a Time in China 2, Once Upon a Time in China 3, Once Upon a Time in China 4, Once Upon a Time in China 5 as the films featured in the set, according to the Criterion Collection website. Also, I should point out that under this particular section on the website, there is the collector's set features list, the sort of supplement section list breakdown. Included in such grouping on the Criterion Collection website is an indication that also the film Once Upon a Time in China and America will also be included, and that will be under a 2K digital transfer. So I should point out too that it says that 4K digital restorations for Once Upon a Time in China and Once Upon a Time in China 2 and 3, and the new 2K digital restorations for Once Upon a Time in China 4 and 5. Presented with their original Cantonese theatrical release sound mixes in uncompressed monaural or stereo. And also it says alternate stereo Cantonese soundtracks for Once Upon a Time in China and Once Upon a Time in China 2, featuring the original theatrical sound effects and monaural Cantonese soundtrack for Once Upon a Time in China 3. And also I refer to Once Upon a Time in China and America, sometimes referred to as Once Upon a Time in China 6. And it says new K digital transfer for that film, featuring 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio, monaural Cantonese soundtracks, along with a stereo Mandarin track with the voice of actor Jet Li. And a number of features here. So what to say here about this? Very, very exciting news. This is fantastic. This is really fantastic. Now, when the set actually arrives, this will be maybe a good opportunity to try to speak a little bit about how this Criterion release will fare, say when compared to earlier past releases of these films. There have been a number of releases under different labels and from different parts of the world, of course, and also sometimes with different groupings as well. Sometimes focusing maybe on a single film or maybe an aspect of the series, the trilogy aspect, for example. But here we have, and here we have the cinematic or theatrical versions, films. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Once Upon a Time in China and America. So this is really exciting news indeed. Very, very exciting. I was saying in the video that I uploaded last week about the 4K release announcement from Criterion, I had been speculating or wondering or questioning out loud what this might mean, say, for Criterion's plans between now and the end of the year with regard to new event-like box set or collector set releases. Because as we know from past years, Criterion did release, say, event releases such as the Essential Fellini box set, etc., around this time of year, around November, December of years past. But now this year, with the new news about the new format, what would that mean in terms of collector sets? Maybe Criterion would not release any more collector sets. Who knows? Who knows? We shall have to wait and see, right? Well, now we have our answer, my dear friends. It looks like together within the mix, within the excitement of this new format, we also get this thrilling news about this new set from Criterion. So when the set arrives, again, another chance, another time to celebrate. And these films too, Once Upon a Time in China, I have never had the opportunity to speak about these, and so I wouldn't call myself in any way an expert in these or in any other films that I speak about on this channel, but I am so thrilled. These films are fantastic, each in their own way, so fantastic, and so I look forward to exploring them, and hopefully maybe we can think about this further, but maybe we can devote some time to each of the films as well. I really enjoy that type of format and style, so maybe if that's okay with you, we can discuss the series or the set in that way with regard, once again, to this really surprising, wonderfully surprising news from Criterion. Once again, scheduled for release on November 16th, 2021. Oh, I should say too that it looks like the spine number 1103, that seems to be attributed to the entire set. So all the films, they don't get their own each film does not get its own specific spine number, at least according to the site as of now, but the entire set gets the attribution of spine number 1103. That's okay. That's still okay because we're still getting this fantastic set. And just looking at the pictures, this is going to be really exciting indeed. Please check out the site directly for more info on this. Once again, Once Upon a Time in China, the complete films. Wow, I should point out too, new cover art by Jung Shan. So the cover art looks really cool indeed, and it'll be really interesting to explore that, to examine that further, as well as the other aspects when it arrives later this year. Next, scheduled for release November 23rd, 2021, and this is for spine number 1105 from 1993 from Albert Hughes and Alan Hughes. This is the film which is called MENACE II SOCIETY. Now, I spoke a little bit about this title in the context of the prior video about the UHD 4K announcement from Criterion, because this is a title that is going to be released under that new format. So if you're interested in some other comments, please check out that earlier video. But just to continue on, we have here, according to the website, a number of things. First off, new 4K digital restoration of the director's cut of the film, supervised by cinematographer Lisa Rinsler and co-director Albert Hughes, with 7.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack, and in the 4K UHD edition, one 4K UHD disc of the film presented in Dolby Vision HDR, and one Blu-ray with the film and special features. And then we have original 2.0 surround soundtrack presented in DTS HD master audio, and then two audio commentaries from 1993 featuring directors Albert and Alan Hughes, and then a number of supplements also that are listed, including Gangsta Vision, a 2009 featurette on the making of the film, and a new conversation, as well as, new conversations with the filmmakers, and then interviews from '93 and deleted scenes and others. So please check that list out on the site for more information. As far as the format options and pricing are concerned, we have the site indicating that there will be a single Blu-ray disc option, a one disc Blu-ray, priced at $31.96. The other option also is the two disc 4K UHD plus Blu-ray combo release, and this is $39.96. Looks like for anyone who is not seeking to pursue the UHD 4K format, there is still the single Blu-ray disc option, which is great news, by the way. This is really great. I should say too that this is also very important. Physical media, it's in a certain area, I acknowledge and I realize, but at the same time, it is also very potentially an expensive endeavor to try to upgrade all the equipment and everything, and a different change, and to purchase the titles again. And so this is, there are a number of positives when it comes to new format, but there are also a number of things that one must do, a number of costs that need to be incurred. And so I completely get the perspective for anyone who might say, want to stay with the Blu-ray format, and it's a great format, and it's just really it offers so much, and it still has the potential of offering so much. And so I'm very happy that the Blu-ray option is still made available together with the 4K UHD combo option. I should point out here, however, that there is no DVD option, so it looks like that maybe when it comes to these new titles that are going to be released in association with this new format from Criterion, it looks like, based on what we have here and also what we're going to talk about next, it looks like we're going to get a single disc Blu-ray option or a 4K UHD plus Blu-ray combo option only. There doesn't seem to be any DVD option. So we had also spoken about that in the past video, how this might affect the DVD format options from Criterion going forward. This seems to be somewhat of an indication. It doesn't look like it's going to do away with the DVD format entirely, so because there are still DVD options available under other titles. But again, this is something that we should consider going forward with respect to this and other new 4K related releases from Criterion. But in any event, returning to these already current, these offerings under the website here, this is going to be very exciting news indeed. And I have spoken about the significance of this title in the context of the Criterion collection very briefly in the last video, and also the really stunning, electrifying nature of the work itself. I've never had the opportunity to speak about this, but I will look forward to that chance when it arrives. This is this is a very significant film in a lot of ways, and so this is to be able to speak to you about this film when it arrives. I'm very much looking forward to it. So, once again, my friends. Oh, I should point out too that our dear friend, friend of the channel, Sister Hyde, has, according to the website, provided the artwork for this. So please check out the artwork and all the great details of it. But once again, Sister Hyde and the artwork, fantastic work as always. So thank you. Thank you very much for this offering and for the artwork, and also for the overall concept and presentation, and also for this release itself. So this is going to be Menace II Society, again, spine number 1105, scheduled for release November 23rd. Last but not least, we have scheduled for release on November 23rd, 2021, spine number 1104. This is the film from 1941, and the filmmaker is Orson Welles, and the name of the work is Citizen Kane. So I also was speaking a little bit about this work in the context of the Criterion 4K announcement from last week. So here we have a continuation of that. This is a film with respect to which it has always been rumored, or it's been on wish lists, etc., about, will this film ever return to the Criterion collection? And lo and behold, we got our answer last week, and we have a continuation of that answer here today. And further, this is in the context also of the 4K UHD announcement from Criterion. Citizen Kane is now in the Criterion collection. This is huge. This is huge for a number of reasons. I think most of which I had alluded to, as I say, in the past video. I should say too that one thing that was, I think, of immediate concern was the price point of this new format and what would be offered. Now, according to the website, we have the options of this film being, the Criterion is releasing it on either a Blu-ray version or a 4K UHD Blu-ray combo version. The Blu-ray version is 3 discs. The combo version is 4 discs. The Blu-ray version is $39.96. A combo version is $47.96. In terms of price point, yes, we are getting somewhat high relative to other titles, but that is also taking into account that we are getting the Blu-ray disc version, which is 3 discs, and so 3 discs set for $39.96. That is, I think, pretty much the standard as far as suggested retail pricing is concerned. And so you add an extra $8. You don't reach $50. You don't reach the $50 price point. You get quite close, but it's still under $50 in terms of that radar or that scope. And so we have our answer, at least as far as how it's exemplified in these first initial 4K related releases in terms of what Criterion would be doing with the pricing. So it looks like $8 above the Blu-ray only release version. And so again, if that is appealing to you or not, again, it depends on you and your own needs and your own approaches to cinema and physical media as a collector and consumer. So please make those considerations accordingly. And hopefully, again, when the next sale comes along, these and the other titles will be hopefully subject to those sale terms. So that might be a great prime time to purchase. Returning to the set itself, excuse me, I should say too that the Criterion collection here, the set indicates new 4K digital restoration with uncompressed monaural soundtrack. It also says, in the 4K UHD edition, 1 4K UHD disc of the film presented in Dolby Vision HDR and 3 Blu-rays with the film and special features. And then it has 3 audio commentaries. One from 2021 featuring Orson Welles scholar James Nairmore and Jonathan Rosenbaum, and then from 2002 featuring filmmaker Peter Bogdanovich, and also from 2002 featuring film critic Roger Ebert. And then we have The Complete Citizen Kane from 91, a rarely seen feature-length BBC documentary. And then we have new interviews, new video essay, new program, and then we have some listings of interviews from 1990. And, oh, interesting, The Hearts of Age, a brief silent film made by Welles as a student in 1934. Oh, wow. And television programs from 1979 and 1988 featuring appearances by Welles and Mercury Theatre producer John Houseman and others. So please check out the listing of this very intriguing collection of supplements as well, including this, including the film itself. And of course, it'll be interesting to compare with other past releases of the film and other Orson Welles films overall. In particular, perhaps notable to many, I'm sure, this earlier Blu-ray release, the 70th anniversary release from a few years back as well. So it'll be interesting to see, maybe compare and contrast, say, this earlier version with the upcoming new Criterion release, as well as making reference, hopefully, to past Criterion Laserdisc releases as well. This is a film that is it's immense. I mean, you don't need me to say that. It's immense. It's immense for so many reasons. It is so deep. The further one goes, the more mysteries are unveiled and revealed. And there's so many tricks and turns, amazingly so. And it's this labyrinth. It really is. It's this truly awe-inducing and awe-inspiring type of epic that is, in many ways, an epic of the American story, and the type of it's in many ways the American story. It's also in many ways a type of uniquely, how should I put it? It has a sense of the journey and a sense of the building of presence and the building of a certain, or the journey of a character. It also has the idea of the American dream or the American nightmare from a certain perspective. Also, it has this notion of every time a question is answered, there are more questions that reveal themselves. And so questions lead to questions lead to questions. And I'm talking not just about the way in which the visuals are presented, and those are dazzling, by the way, and they have been remarked upon so many times by many great scholars and experts and academics and reviewers, of course, but this is a very big component. I'm also speaking, too, about the emotional terrain and also the plot structure. This is very complex, and every time I think that I might have a certain grasp on it, I realize that my grasp is incorrect, and it's incomplete, and there's so much more at stake in terms of where it is taking me and where it is taking us, the viewers, on this labyrinthine maze of a journey that is also dazzling and also an incredibly powerful emotional experience. It is very powerful, and it has this emotional punch, or series of emotional punches that remain very resonant. And some of them are direct, some of them are very nuanced and subtle. Even the subtle, nuanced ones have this devastating, powerful effect. And so this is, again, not at all, I think, doing justice to discussion of this film that this film, I think, deserves. I mean, it is a true feast for the eyes. It is a treat for the senses. It is also this magnificent journey, heavenly or hellish, depending on one's point of view, journey into the many facets of this life, this story, this enigma, of Charles Foster Kane. So it'll be very exciting to try to speak a little bit more about this film, Citizen Kane, again, when the Criterion Collection set arrives, or the Criterion Collection release. Or I said set. I didn't mean to use that word, but I suppose that might be apropos, because again, we're having a number of discs here. The Blu-ray version is 3 discs, so that has this set-like aura about it, does it not? But in any event, the release of this film, Citizen Kane, and again, you have one of 2 options, the combo version, the 4K plus Blu-ray combo version, or the Blu-ray only version. Again, we don't have a DVD only option here. So take that for what, that could be an indication of something. It might not, who knows. But in any event, it looks like for these new releases, we're not getting a single DVD release option. So, but we are getting a Blu-ray only option. So once again, I do know that for those who are not endeavoring to pursue the 4K format, that is still okay, because there is still the Blu-ray only option here. So this is a really exciting stuff indeed. So this is scheduled for release November 23rd, and at spine number 1104. This is the work from Orson Welles, Citizen Kane. Okay, my friends, so that's it as far as the November release announcement is concerned. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments section below. As always, I always would love to hear what it is you have to say. So that's it for now. And so until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well. And please keep on watching a lot of great movies. Thank you so much, as always, for your time. I very much appreciate it. Stay strong, stay safe, and cheers.